right, everyone. Welcome to another day of Awesome FileMaker Training. I'm Richard Carlton at FMTrain.tv, where every day is a great day to learn about the Claris FileMaker platform. So today is Nick Hunter. So I'm gonna. Nick, are you there?
I am here.
Okay, here goes Nick. Everyone, brace for impact. Margaret, I'm gonna give you back control of the bridge to you. Is that okay?
Okay, so what are we doing, Nick?
Okay. Today, we do a chit chat a little bit together about. I want to show you something that I discovered some time ago, and I started using it, and I use it more and more and more and more because it saved my butt. And it saved me a lot of time, a lot of you know problems, and especially on debugging, knowing what people are doing in the database. It's something we don't know. We don't have a good way to know what people are doing, the script they are doing or they're launching, what happened during the scripts. So I want to show something. I don't know if you guys heard about something like the session identifier.
The term's familiar, but I don't really know a lot about it.
Okay. So a session identifier, okay, is this. I'm logged in with this in this database, if I'm starting point on my server, and the session identifier is whatever show when you get connected on the server, right? By default, FileMaker use this stuff here as a session identifier. The username. The username you have in here could be the username of the system or whatever custom username you have. I put that here to show you, right? This is a name FileMaker use to show you as an identifier. But what if I'm going to say to you that we can set the identifier. So we can do it. So let's do this, set identifier. Okay. So we have a script step, right? That we can set the identifier. So I can say hello, right? So if I'm setting this as identifier, look what is going to happen here. Boom, it changes. So now here, I can put whatever I want. I can say, for example, yeah, I don't want the system name or the username here, which you get doing this in FileMaker, right? This is what FileMaker is using as identifier. I prefer to say I want the account name, right? Because my system says something, my username, but I'm logged in using the security account Nick Hunter, right? So I can say, instead of hello, I can say this, get account name. So if I'm setting this identifier, now I have this, right? That's cool. Also, I can say something like this, account name, and get account privilege set name. Uh, substituting this with a space, right? So I can do this now. So that's cool because I know Nick Hunter is accessing in full access, right? You can enter full access, right? So now, so that cool is pretty generic, okay? Well, what if I'm saying that we can do something like this? Here on starting point, I am on the first screen, on the home screen. What happens if I'm going to contact, for example? Boom. So now, because I go to contact, I can say, okay, Nick Hunter is currently on the layout L300 and contacts. And then you have the tooltip normally here. Yeah, contact data entry, right? Data entry. So what happened if I log in with another, right? What happened if I log in with another account? I log in again in the same solution. So now it says Anakin there. So I didn't set up any session identifier. So that means the identifier is the defaults, right? But if I go to accounts, right, now it says, because I have a script that says, okay, admin is in account layouts, while Nick Hunter is in the contact layouts, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So how we do this? How we do that when you first, okay, the first thing you do, you have your starter scripts, right? The starter scripts, okay, this one. You can set the session identifier somewhere, here, even at the top, we can do that. Right? So at startup, I can do this. So when FileMaker launch, so let's close this, right? So let's close this one. I'm closing this guy. So why WebDirect is there? No idea. So it should go. Okay, I don't know what WebDirect is. Oh, somebody in the audience is trying to log in my stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
People are messing around.
yeah. It's okay. So I have nothing. It's my stuff here, but I don't know. I don't know if I have I should ask Jacob to secure my account. I can also deactivate many things here, but it's okay. So now, if I log in again, right, with, so this one is here. Which one is not? Okay, this one. So if I log in again, so he asked me for my account, right? No, I'm not going to give you my. So here, it will say that Nick Hunter full access logged in. Okay. So I'm there. And now I can say, okay, let's go to contact, right? So now I can say is on contact, or we can say in account, right? So they're both in accounts. Or if I go to the other FileMaker and I go to contact. So you know where you are, where are your users. You can track this. Okay. So that's interesting, because sometimes people say, oh, I have a problem. You say, yeah, but you're not in the right contact. You're not on the right layout, right? Something like this. You can track this. And even for debugging, is also cool to have something like this. And I'm going to show. So how I can get this done here, right? Well, I have a script here. Set identifier account and layout name, so you have a you have a script that sets the identifier. You put whatever you put whatever calculation you need to have, like account name and layout name, and to get this, account name and layout name like this, right? And on every single layout, that's why I tell you many times, on every single layout, you want this to happen. On layout enter, right? You have a script that said this. So for example, if you go to estimate, for example, right? You have it all on layout enter. I always have it on layout enter. If it does nothing special. So I have the pasting will take forever. So you put that scripts that set the session identifier on every single layout. You want that to happen, right? And automatically, when the user goes there, right, it allows you to know where it is, right? Where the user is. Do we have any question?
What happens when an account runs a script as an admin account?
Well, you don't, when you grant full access for the scripts, right? I'm not sure it relogs. It doesn't relog with another account name. It will keep the account name and just grant you the full access privileges. But it doesn't do a relogin. It doesn't do that. So it will keep the account name you currently are. But I'm going to show this, I'm going to, when this release me, it happened all the time, I paste a single script step and boom, takes forever. So, and if you stop, it takes as long as pasting it. So, okay. Another question?
Uh, Let me see. Are there any other comments or questions? I don't see any at the moment. Were we all following along so far? I do love it whenever FileMaker occasionally hangs while pasting something. It just takes like 20 years to paste something
Yeah,
really
I
basic.
don't understand. I don't
It
understand why
happens. It
it
happens.
happens. It happens all the time. And sometimes you paste a button in a layout and boom, it takes
Yes.
forever.
Yes, I had that happen to me the other day. I was like, I copied a single button from
A
the same
button,
database. Why are you hanging like the world is ending? I mean, it gets there eventually. Keyword
yeah,
being eventually.
yeah, it will take there. It will get there. Maybe at the end of the webinar.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
this thing I don't understand when they don't address it. It's just because it doesn't happen to them. They say, okay, screw you. Um, but anyway, so I have another FileMaker, so I can do that. I can go to another. Oh, I have another.
Another file
I have
maker.
two FileMaker running.
Yes.
Okay, so what happened now if I go and I have a P source running? Because that's an interesting, right? Let's say I have a P source. Oh, I think he released me. Yeah, he released me. So this is how you do. You paste this on top of the script on layout enter, right? So now when you go to estimate, right? If I go to estimate here, I know I am in estimate. Okay, so that's one thing. So what happened if I have a P source running? Okay, a P source, I do something, but I run a P source. So what happens if I run a pieces without this, right? I run a pieces without this. So I run this and go there. Here, right? Because it gets the one I put on the first window open, right? On the startup. So let's get rid of the startup stuff for now. And do it again. The scripts. Right. Oh, yeah, but this is not a good one. I want, yeah, is a script too. Yeah. So this is what happened, you know. So, but why said this? Perform script on server, pieces 2. Okay, so let's go do it again. Right. So I give you the name of the scripts, right? It gives you the name of the script. That's what it does by default. Which script is running and the user that started it. Okay? So that was the default. What happens if I want to know more, okay, than just the script name? Okay? So, for example, I'm here, right? So I can remove this. And I say, okay, I want to find something, right? And I want to see the results of the find with the last error, right? So what happens if I run this script, right? Here. So now I know find contact Nick Hunter script 001A, okay? And then it will tell me, okay, I have an error 103. There's an error 103 in that script. Just happened, okay? So you can send to the identifier whatever you want, the error. Why it gets an error 103 is because I search for something that doesn't exist. Okay, correct? So when you do a pieces, well, you can send whatever you want in the identifier. So it's good when you have many things like this, right? So let's say you do a relookup, okay? You do a relookup on something that I'm sure it will fail, okay? So then you say, so let's do this, right? And this, and a relookup, and you say relookup, right? And you have the error, right? So you can do something like this. So what happens if I do something like this? So on pieces, right? So I run the pieces. So first he says I have a 103 error on a find contact. And then I have a relookup error 42, right? And the big thing is, if you go to the logs, right? I don't know if, where's the log? It's disabled. Okay. So you have all the access here, right? So you can run and see what happened here. Relookup 42, right? You have an error here. Relookup, 103. So in the log, right? In the access log, you have the script event and the access log. So you know what happened because it logs the name of the session. And in the name of the session, you can, track what's happening on inside your script, because each time you set the session identifier, that starts it's a log entry in your log, right? So you can have pretty good stuff here, right? So each time you do something, right? Sometime when the script is complex or whatever, right? You can even say instead of what it is, you say, okay, line 6, for example, right? Or line 2, line 6. If you want, you can put the line, but that is complicated because if you do something like this, the line change. So you need to change, you need to keep, but you can do that, the relookup, the find contacts, right? So you can log your stuff like this, right? So you said something like this, right? So you say if I grant full access privileges to that script, right? So what will happen if I do that? It won't change anything. Keep saying Nick Hunter, right? Because it doesn't tell you, it doesn't relog. It just grants you the full access privileges, but it doesn't relog with another user, right? So we have any other question?
We following along? Any comments, questions, concerns? That sounds like a change of behavior. It used to be that when running a script with full access privileges, the user details would show as the full access user rather than the user currently logged in.
Okay, so let's do something without my intervention. So let's run the scripts like this, right? Let's run the scripts with grant full access without anything. Okay, so let's change this to the script 2. I never realized I was doing this, but yeah, no, it's keep unique hunter. I mean, it doesn't change the privilege. So what we can do is go to security, change this to data entry only, right? And do something like this in the scripts, do something like this, where here, and say I want the get account privilege set name, right? So I'm data entry only now, right? So what happens if I do this? So it grant me the full access, right? Correct? But I'm still logged in as Nick Hunter, so let's see. So here I'm going to say, I'm going to put both get account set privilege name, right? So running this. So it changed to admin. Okay. So that's something. So yeah, it didn't log. Oh, hold on. But am I with, because I have two FileMaker open though. Hold on. I need to make sure I am in the right FileMaker. Hold on. Which FileMaker I'm in here, because I have two. Gets account name. So this one is Nick Hunter. Here, I'm on Nick Hunter here. Let me check. Yeah, Nick Hunter. So this one is Nick Hunter. Okay, so I'm launching the P source with this guy. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah. So it did. Maybe it didn't like it.
Hmm.
I'm in data entry only, but I'm not doing anything here. So I'm launching this P source, launching it. Nothing happened. Okay, so let's put, see, it didn't launch it. So let's see why. So when something happened like this, you do this, right? Okay, so because on data entry only, I'm not allowed to launch PSOs. So let's see the privilege here. Oh yeah, I'm not even up, I don't have even have this open, right? So I need to Apple event URL, FM REST. Okay, I didn't have that open, right? I mean selected in my privilege. So now I have on data entry only. Of course, he asked me for the privilege. Okay, so let's start again. So I'm a Nick Hunter. I'm launching this. See,
Mm-hmm.
I'm logged in as Nick Hunter, right? See, and it's still saying data entry only. Okay, so
We have.
it doesn't. I mean, I launched this. I granted the full access privileges, and within the script, I ask for what is the account name and the privilege set name during the script, right? So, and it says, and it says, no,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't say anything.
No. It's having
Okay,
a
so
moment.
yeah, but your privilege do not allow you to view the script. Oh, that's why. Okay, so what the heck? I can't do anything now. I'm screwed. Okay, so let's close this. Yeah, so I need to have, so this one, so let me close everything and log again.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to log in as Nick. Yeah, I cannot see the script, but I should be able to run it because I am in data entry only, so I have no access to the script workspace, so I need to, I can do go layout mode because I'm not, you know, uh, I'm in data entry only, so I can do anything. I cannot do anything. So I need to log as admin and fix it. But it doesn't. So let me do something here. So I'm launching as admin, right? But I cannot go to the script. But what I can do is put a button here that run the scripts. Okay. Even this is very slow. The layout's pretty simple. But I'm not sure it will change. It will relog it. I'm not sure he's doing this to relog with another. Okay. Run Pisos. Okay. Perform scripts. Not performing this. Right. So I just run. I ask to run this one, which is the 2. Right. Okay. So now I can close this and relog with. So I relog with data entry only, right? Okay. So I run this. Should be able to run it. Okay. See, Nick Hunter, data entry only. Even though the script, I grant the script with full access. Right? It just grants full access privileges to the current user that is logged in. Right? It doesn't relog with an admin account. No, no, no. I don't know if that's a change of behavior. I don't think so because I never noticed that it was changing the name and taking the first account privilege because you can have many full access accounts in your security settings. So it doesn't make any sense to do that. But I don't know. I never realized it, to be honest with you. Right. So, but now it's not doing it. Have another question?
Related. Um, so you think it runs? You probably think you've answered this, but I'll ask it anyway. So you think it runs with the same account but with a different privilege?
Yes, it's the same account.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps saying your data entry only, but it granted you granted. It's temporary. It's a temporary status. It's not forever. That during when you run the script during the script while the script running, right? You you are granted the full access privileges, but it's still you. You know, it's still you. You know, this is what that means. You know, it grants. Grant full access privileges. It doesn't mean that you're going to relog. He's not doing like a relogin, and log with an account with password. No, that will be like a flaw. How, you know, how FileMaker could access normally uh, the security when you're there, even FileMaker have access to your password. It's no longer accessible. So, you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, you run with FileMaker, you run with Nick Hunter, and oh, the first admin full access, the first full access account is admin. Oh, I'm running with this. No, it's not doing it. Keep running with this privilege set, but you know, for this script, only for this script, during this script, I granted you, right? You granted the full access. So yeah.
Someone else said thank you for testing. Can you try running a script with admin privilege with get current privilege set name?
Yeah, so it's there. This is a privilege set name.
So there's one like current privilege set name. Is that like different?
That's the current.
Oh, so there is.
Extended privilege set name.
There's also, but if you go up, there's one beneath host time step. So go down one, and then go down another one,
Okay.
set name. Huh.
Okay. Never use this one.
Neither have I. I have no idea that it even exists.
Yeah. Here you go. Oh yeah, but I mean admin. Okay, hold on. Need to relog in with Nick Hunter, not admin, because admin is admin. Okay, so it's what? Oh, okay. So I'm Nick Hunter, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it said full access. So it shows you the currents. So apparently that's the difference between the currents, right? So the currents tells you. So yeah, you're right. So let me log in with another FileMaker here and log in with admin, then we can have both at the same time. Never use that currents. Might be for this. So here I'm admin, so I can do whatever I want. So let's go and go to the help, current. Oh, it's in the get here where the gets. Oh no, I'm not in there. Need to go there. Gets current privilege set name, so can go straight to the help, by selecting here and clicking here. You go straight to the help, current privilege set name. Modify privilege set name, full access, not. They don't say if it's used for that. Okay. Yeah, so you can set this. It's old. It's from 6.0. Never use it. So I learned something. So yeah, so they're using this, if you have. So that's a good thing because sometime when you want to make sure, right, that you do have the full access, right? And if for example, I forget to do that, for example, in the PSOs, right? I forget. And I'm going there, right? And here it said data entry only, right? So that can help you. That it's a good thing. So the combination of both, right? So you know that you were logged, as a, data entry only. So maybe that can help you debug, say, oh yeah, I forgot to grant the full access, right? Then if I do it again, now I will say full access. Boom. See? That's cool. That's very cool. So during a PSOS, you know what happened. Right? That's very cool. Other question?
Uh, There's people thank you for testing it. So we're good with
Yeah, I mean,
questions at the moment.
I'm using this because, okay, why I'm using this the most, right, is for web direct. web directs, most of the time, right? People are logged in, they log in their, I have one user for web, so I'm, I'm going to manage security, and I have a web direct account, right? I have a web direct account. We have a default password, 1234, 1234. And I put my privileges, whatever privilege I want, right? Right? Whatever. So I have my privilege I want for all my web direct user. So when the web direct user log in, boom, it tells me web direct number, and I have an ID number, right? So that's what the web direct do. Okay. But it wasn't enough, because I can identify, yes, people logs in with a unique accounts, but I send them like, a magic link, which is a link to go to their web direct, but it's a personalized link. In the link, I have the UUID of the contact. When the contact click on their email, they receive an email. Oh, go to your page. They go to their page. They have a link that go to web direct slash webd slash blah blah blah. I tell them, and in the link you have the script they need to run and the ID, their ID. So they go. So I know which contact it is, right? So, but the session identifier here doesn't tell me this. It doesn't tell me who is logged in. It says web direct 12389, for example. That's what it says. But since I can set my own identifier, I can say, okay, the guy logs in, and then I set the identifier with the name of that contact that I have on the contact database, because the link I sent to them force them to go to their page, right? So I know who is logged in, not just web direct 12345, right? I have the name of the person, and I know where they are. So I know, for example, when somebody says, because sometimes, they have problems, that happen. So they call and they say, hey, I have a problem logging, in your page. I can't find this, I can't find that, right? So, and so my customer go in the console, see the guy logged in, and the guy is in invoices, for example, right? And my customer, my customer said to the client, say, yeah, but you are currently in the invoices. Go back and then select documents, and then you will see it. So he can remotely watch what the the connected user is doing. And that's cool, right? Help a lot, So this is cool to track what the user is doing. Web direct, iPhone, iPad, right? Sometimes I know, because my customer wants to know if they are on the mobile version of the website or the desktop version of the website, right? Because, for example, if there's a problem, people call and they say, oh, I cannot find my stuff. And my customer, the owner of the company say, yeah, okay, you're on mobile, you're on your phone. So, okay, tap the arrow back and then go down, select the icon with the documents, you know what I mean? So it's because the layout is different. So it can guide the customers, right, better. Also, when a problem happened, for example, one day I remember you had a problem where people paying online, they had problem, they couldn't pay online. And a customer say, okay, log online, go in the website, log in, click on your link, and he saw mobile. So immediately knew something was wrong in the mobile, right? And then I improved the system to return the error of the company, of the API was using to get payment through credit card. And we noticed that my calculation was returning like 16 decimal after, because it was a percentage, calculated percentage and stuff like this, a fee. It was a fee calculated, and I was sending like 16 decimal to the it was on FileMaker, it was showing 2, but the calc was returning 16 decimal, and the error was, there's too many decimal in your integer. The the API, the credit card company API was returning that error. So I was collecting the error, and then we could debug better, right? So this helps, the session identifier.
Good.
Okay, so do we have a question?
I don't see any at the moment.
Yeah.
So,
Something, if you want, I can, since we have some time, I can show you something about the naming of my, I was doing something like recently, and let me show you something here. It will be interesting about how to name things. The name is very important. So how to name things. So let me go and open the database. Recent, something I was doing recently. So I'm logging the file. So yeah, so the session identifier, if you are on server and you have problem with PSOs and you want to know things and you want a better, information where are the users in which layout, the session identifier is very good. So I'm logging in the file, so I don't want to show too much. So, and I'm going to show you our scripts. We do like a naming stuff. When you name something, it needs to give you, do a summary. It needs to give you, you need to get the most out of the naming, So I'm going to show you some of my techniques of naming stuff, right? And to help you, how to name variable, how to name script, how to name many things. Okay. Okay, I'm getting there. So we start with script for you, because every time people say, oh, I don't know how to name my scripts, right? Because people try to name the script for what they do, right? Which is okay, right? But there's a way to do that, right? So let me resume. Okay. So here I have all my scripts here, right? So they're all here, right? All my scripts. And how I name my scripts. Okay. So can see, so that's organization. For example, let's get contacts. Okay. So there's scripts. I always put a number. So for example, from 5,000 to 5,999, that means one before 6,000. So I have like 1,000 script possible for contact, from 5,000 to 5,999. So I started with 30 because I had some script before that I removed. So you put a name and you increment the names. 31, right? 60, 62, 65, 65B, A, right? So then that's a number. I'm going to come back on this number here. Then you say what it does. It opens, it go to, open, open, select, move, add, delete, select, right? Validate, delete, print, save, set, reset, generate. So first I say the action. What the action? I generate, I print, I delete, right? I get, open. Because if I say here, I'm going here and I want all the open, that all my open stuff, okay? So I want open contacts, that all my open contact stuff, okay? Okay, that all my open contacts. You know, when I want to open contact, so I open something. When open means I open a window, okay? You open the window of the contact, right? So, and then you say, okay, open save invoices, you know, and then you say open invoices in a card with parameters, right? So validate full payment invoices in the card. That means when I put card, that means I am in a card window. All of those are in a card window, all of those, you know. So if I look for a contact, you know, card, you know, a contact, I don't have contact card. Oh, contact card. I don't have. I should. No, I don't. That's why. But invoice card, I mean, I will have it. Invoice card. Yeah. Why it doesn't do this? Anyway, so invoice, I should have. Ah, yeah. I have those. I know this is invoice cards, right? So we have no other way than to find the scripts by this search box here. So the naming convention, right, help you, right? For example, here, I have an old version and I have a new version, right? So I updated. I, I so this is that was the current one that I was doing, right? And then I build a new one. Same here. I have the move contact, you know, I have the move parcel, and I build a new one, right? And new one. And sometime, you know, I have a backup. That means I duplicate the current one to have a backup, right? So that the previous one, the new one, the previous one. You know, it's so you can put information like this, right? So you can say, okay, where my new stuff, you know, are, you know, so I always do this, you know. So all my new, that my new. Let's say you don't remember the script, but you know it's a new script, right? It's a new version, so you can do this. Also, what you need to know, right? It's about what I'm doing here with the ABC, right? So the ABC, all of those. So let me, I think if I go to contact, I have this invoice stuff here. Yeah, okay, here. So here I have, this is a pretty complex interaction. And I have many scripts that goes together, okay? Many script together, correct? So let's get away the do not rename for now. So all of those, okay, they part of the same workflow, right? I open invoice, I select invoice, I validate the invoice within this scripts. I have a PSOS, then ergo, I have a callback, then I have this, right? And then I have this related to the D, this workflow here. All of this is together. This is together. And the A, the B, the C, the D's, are all part of the 5800 workflow. So if I say, okay, I'm working on the 5800 workflow, right? Yeah, I have a duplicate version for the web, but this is my workflow. So by selecting the 5800, well, I can navigate now within my workflow. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can get like a group, but it's clean. Also, you know, so this manner, this way of naming stuff, right? It helps you a lot to get you think like, you know, like Richard would say, get your shit together. Okay. And also when you perform a script, when you have this window here, right? Because this is BS. This is a utter BS. The guy who built this should be jailed, you know, really, because this is insane. Have you ever tried to use that piece of junk? Okay, so we can't rely on this. How I can rely on this? Tell me. So I invented my own grouping stuff, you know. I want to perform a script from my 5800 workflow. It's there. So you understand? So I can
Mm-hmm.
gather all the workflow, and then I know what we, you know, here I can say, you know, like let's say, for example, I have a, let's say I have a perform script on server with callback, right? And I say, okay, it's from my 5800 workflow, you know, and it's the D2, for example, right? And my callback is, you know, 5800 D. So I have all my D's together, right? And I say, okay, this is my callback I want. Okay. So also, yeah, I need to wait before we go to the question and whatever. Sorry.
No, you're good.
I have a way when I am on, for example, on the layouts, right? So let's say I'm on C51, 55, 1A, right? So C551A. Here, I can, with the keystroke, with the escape key, right? Not this one. Which one I can code? Which one? Oh, on invoices. Hold on. I know here I have one. Codes. Yeah, here. No. Committing payment messages, save done, save. I don't remember where I have, but I can say when you, oh, here I have one. Yeah, we have. Okay. So here, when I close the window, when I press escape, when this is the car style window, right? This is a car style window. It's a car style, right? So I can either click cancel or press the escape key, right? But the escape key, what the escape key does, it closes the window, right? So I'm running a script by name when I press escape. I run by name, and that's the name of the script, right? Close window is there. But if I rename the script, well, that breaks. So that's why sometimes I want to make sure that I'm not going to rename that script by mistake. So instead of putting do not rename in the name, I put them in a folder, say this script here, do not rename, right? This here, those two, do not rename, because I'm calling them by name. So don't rename those scripts. It's specified here, right? So yeah, before we go, just an example. I was recently working on something here. Is on the, yeah, here. Okay. Okay, here I have two scripts, right? I have delete invoice current and delete invoice fund set. Okay. So the script here, when you name the scripts, first, it's easy to remember a number. 5865, if you're working with this, you're going to rename it. You're going to remember it, But pesos, delete invoice, no, you won't be able to remember, especially when it comes to search. Because invoice, delete, how I can find this script by name, how it's complicated for with a number, boom, right? And with your communication as well. If you communicate with somebody else, go to the script 5865, right? So that's some. So here you know what happened, but here, for example, how to name a variable. Okay, this is the current contact ID. This is the where you are is the ID of where you are current. Don't say just contact ID because you don't know which contact ID. Related, local, what it is. No, is the current contact ID. The current contact ID you want, the current contact invoice, invoice ID, and the current parcel ID, right? Then you combine all together and you send that to these scripts, right? Because here you have current contact ID, current invoice, current parcel, right? Correct? And then you have another script, right? That says delete fund sets, right? But here it's a problem. So delete fund set. Here you don't say currents. You said because you have many IDs on contact, many IDs on invoices, and many IDs on parcel. You are on found set. Here you are on the current. You are in one invoice for one contact for one parcel. Here you are in multiple contacts, multiple ID invoices, and multiple parcels. The name of the variable need to tell you what happens here. Okay. So it's the list of no longer current contact ID. So the name is very, very important, right? Because it helps you to debug, when you have, so those examples of what happened, are when you name correctly, right? When you name correctly your field, your variable, your scripts, your layouts, you don't really need to have our, comments, right? Because it's self-explanatory. For example, here when you go to the record, right? So that's why I'm taking the time to name those things, because here, for example, right? Yeah, this is not a good example here because this is here, for example, here, I'm going to the contact and then I'll say, okay, I'm from the contact to parcel using the UUID contact, right? So I know what this go to the record we do. I don't need comment here. You you know, you set the field with the transfer ID, which is the field that always named that way, is named like this. The transfer IDs in parcel, transfer IDs in invoices, payments, transfer ID in the contact. I know this is when I'm using to select the IDs, the record by the IDs, right? So I know that. So I don't need, it's no need of comments. You can read the code and you understand it. Like for example, when I say here,
Mm-hmm.
why I take the time to say trigger last modification, I know this is the field I'm using to trigger all my auto entry calculation. It's a trigger field, trigger. Sometimes I can have multiple,
Mm-hmm.
like here, when you give me I open the manage database, it must be on the map. That way it takes some time to open. But here, for example, in parcel, I have multiple trigger. I have the trigger when I want to update the server, the HB201, the feed, all those stuff are what's the name? Um, Name they have in there, back stuff, arbitration, billing, you know, cover sheets, debug. This is for me, right? So sometimes I need to do that for my stuff, my own, right? So, but here, for example, I want to update all the billing stuff in parcel. So I have a dedicated trigger for that. This trigger will trigger only the auto entry calculation I need for the billing info in that table. Right? So I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you have questions or concerns or whatever thing they want to
No, this
say.
no, this is cool. This is a cool trick, Nick. Thank you very much. People are typing. Yeah, thank you, Nick. Very useful information. That seems to be the prevailing sentiment.
I
So,
don't know if I have another example, a good example of, uh, you know, for example, here, you see, I said this is a new setup type, right? I say what it is, a current new selected list of, this is where I start my variable. Uh, Maybe I have a, um, because you can have complicated, uh, you know, current parcel ID, new setup parcel UUID, right? Current parcel number, current, setup type free. So you know, it's very important to get the good name in your stuff because, here, for example, look, all the variable I need to, so you need to make sure that you have the right one, the right name stuff, right? Because it's easier, you know, to uh to 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 especially when you have this new here, because here I'm open here, right? So I want which one I want, the contacts, the current, right? And then the contact. So on all those things, all those variables, this is what I have for the current contact, right? And then you say, okay, I want the new, I don't have new, but whatever, you want the current sites, right? I have only three, right? So yeah, that's cool.
yes, no, this is extremely cool.
And sometimes, I could easily call the fields, instead of using a variable, you know. Instead of using a variable, I could just go and say, okay, get my, get the fields. I prefer to have a variable because a variable, I can name it the way I want, right? Because this is not easily readable sometime. Here is easy, but when you have this stuff here, it's not easy to, this is better to read than this. This is the current site ID. I don't care what it is here. This is what matters, right? And we don't care about those things. So then during your scripts, you are going to deal with those names, not fields, right? So use variable. Using a variable is cool.
Yes, no, absolutely.
Okay, so I don't know. Have questions? Otherwise, when the next time I'm going to be on the air?
August of all things. So
Okay,
it's
so
gonna
that will
be a
be.
while. We will be
Yeah.
missing you, Nick.
Yeah, I know. But tomorrow, we have the present Claris. That's free kind of. Maybe I'm going to show up tomorrow.
Yes. Uh, that would be awesome. All right. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you, Nick, for doing this. We'll be looking
Thank.
forward to seeing you again.
Okay, yeah, in August.
Yes, in August. And for the rest of you, I will see you all for the Claris adventures.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye, everybody.